In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what you need to know about Raiders mechanics maps and how you can use them to improve your mechanic ability the fastest way possible. A subscriber of my channel asked me a simple question: how do I improve my mechanics? So I showed him exactly how to do it in the Raiders mechanics map. Let's get straight into it. How can I help you?
Okay, so honestly, I feel like I've capped at a certain level. Like, I make really stupid plays. Like my mechs, they're all right. They could definitely be better, but I feel like what's really holding me back is sometimes I get stuck on my edits, but then again, I also make stupid edits, and then I don't know what to do certain times in fights.
Okay, so you get stuck on edits, you make some bad edits, and then you're struggling in fights in general.
Yes.
Okay. Got you. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll go over the first one. So getting stuck on your edits is really just practice. I feel like that sounds something like you've heard before, and something like you just already could tell yourself. But it's about playing the right things, and I'm gonna run you through that. So let me hop on the game and screen share. Okay, yeah. So have you played Raiders mechanics training maps before?
I have sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Raiders is a great. I mean, it's a great spot to improve on a ton of different things, but most importantly, edits, right? So of course, like editing is a part of building. It's a part of piece control. It's a part of like a lot of things. It's a part of cross replacement. So I'm gonna kind of run you through this map, and I'll give you the code in a second. So this is the code of the map I'm playing. Making the right edits is not as complicated as it may seem. I think overall, like the simplicity of it, if we're explaining it in like baby terms, is like you improve your editing speed. If you improve your editing speed, you're gonna get stuck on less edits, or you may get stuck, but you will be able to push through it because you're so much faster. And then yeah, you'll be able to make the right edits because again, you're fast enough to be quicker than the other players. So you'll like, even if you make the wrong edit, you can reset it, and if you make the wrong edit still and you're still faster, then you'll catch the guy off guard and you'll still win the fight. Also, with just more control in the fight, or with more control in your editing, you're going to be able to have, obviously more time to think about your edit, and you're more conscious of it. So this map is a phenomenal map to just practice in general, just mechanics as a whole. Your first thing that you should 100% do on this map is understand that this map is built in a way that it's like used by many thousands, all pros. Like this is the, he has a couple of these, we'll go through them, but understand that all of his maps have stuff on them that you shouldn't play. Like not everything is here just because a pro uses this map, or, majority of the players use this map, or all the players, honestly, doesn't mean you should do everything, right? So almost all the aim training is useful or useless on this map. Almost all this edit training, even though it's, hey, we're talking about editing, that's what we want to do. I'm not even going to go to this part. It's not useful. Really the big benefit you're gonna get on this map is going to be peak practice and your tunnels. And it's, of course, the tunnels is a part of piece, it's a part of building, it's a part of editing, right? But
yeah,
the best way I can explain it is when you're doing these, you're doing build combinations, which is in turn, because again, like I said at the start of this, building is editing is building. You're doing edit combinations, right? So you're getting yourself comfortable with awkward edits and awkward angles. Wait, did you see my screen the entire time, or did I just get? Did you just get here?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just got.
Okay, you're good. You're good. So I'll just go back. So showing you the map, right? There's things here. So aim training, not useful. Like this is just not worth playing. Edit training, again, like we're talking about it, it's not useful to play. The big things are peak practice and the tunnels. And the best way you can look at this is not as, oh, this is tunnels classic and this is tunnels target. So these are different, or I should do them in a different way. These are the same thing. You can play them the same exact way. There's 16, eight, right? There's 16 possible combinations of different build combinations and different edit combinations, because again, like I said, editing is building is editing, right? So you can get yourself all these different angles, different perspectives. So that's just answers it in the nutshell, right? So we'll go through here and just kind of explain it, but you can build it as much as you want, as little as you want. It really is up to your skill level and your overall like speed over time. So again, as you get faster, as we become closer to Peterbot mechanics, we'll be able to do absolutely everything, mock speed, just super quick, running through it, no mess ups, whatever. But it's okay to start at like this level where you're just, no cone, and maybe no cone here. You just come down here and do this. It's okay to start with just the really slow and simple things. And I guess to justify that point even more, I'll always teach this, but it's important to start at the basics. Like it seems like that's maybe a dummy's guide, but like it's like completely fine to go through these tunnels and literally just do walls. And if you're constantly thinking about, I'm only going to do walls, that's great. That's a great thing to practice. Because when you get deeper into everything else, right, you're doing all these things and you're flipping the ramp and you're whatever it is, like you have to understand the basics of that. So if you don't understand the basics of just, general cone mechanics, like I know obviously you know how each edit works, but if you can't do them at a like a consistent speed or a consistent like rate, then you're gonna struggle when you add it in. So like if you're like, wait, why can't I do these tunnels at Peterbot level when I feel like I have the mechanics? It's because you don't have the basics of just placing the wall. Like again, this is really watered down, so that's not direct to you, but right, everyone knows how to place the wall. But you get what I'm saying. So yeah, so if you're ever like struggling, try to water it down to the lowest level. On that same note, like when I'm teaching people to do retakes and all these different things, I'm always telling them to start with like, learn how this works as a whole. Like, where do you stand? Okay, so you stand here. How do you jump? You just press to right and jump. Okay, so you got that. So if you ever mess up, hit your head here, or you come too low and you miss the jump or whatever it is, you can look back at that in that second, right then and there, instantly, and be like, okay, that's because I was too high or too low on the ramp, and that turns into everything. I know you asked about editing and not retakes, but that's everything, right? As long as you know the basics of how does this wall work. So if I'm looking here, it doesn't place, but I have to look up here. So I understand that I have to look higher up to place this wall. So if you don't know why, you're coming through here and you're like, why isn't this wall placing? Of course, I'm on a stair now, so why is this wall not placing? I mess up every time. It's because you have to look at the right angle. Again, knowing the basics of it is really, really important. Just run this map, fix it. So yeah, these tunnels, again, 16 different ones, are going to help you on build combinations and edit combinations, because each one is a different perspective, and each one you can also, like, it's not just 16 different build and edit combinations. It's honestly infinite, because you're seeing here I'm doing all cones, but if I wanted to switch it to after this, switch it to all stairs, I could do that as well, and that's a whole different perspective, right? Like when I'm coming up here instead of the cone, now I'm more elevated than I would be on a cone, right? So I'm a little bit higher. So that means my jump is a little higher or a little lower. It means I have to be higher to get up here, or if I want to run up here, I have to get to the top, right? So you can run through here and do a mixed match, stairs and cones. Right now I'll do a stair, and then now I'll do cone. Right now I'll do stair, right? So you can run through here and change up in infinite amounts of ways, which will make it more than just 16 different build and edit combinations. So yeah, when you're getting stuck on bad edits, or when you're getting stuck on edits, it's really just a matter of practicing each one nice and slow. Where do you want to stand? Where do you want to sit? And yeah, just taking your time, really just getting it down as a core. Again, we'll all be able to, building is a thing in the game that you can always improve on, and you'll, like, forever. So you're not going to be here on step, one forever. You're going to be able to get up and up and up, eventually faster, and make better edits, different edits, change your perspective, and again, that's just mechanical improvement. So yeah, and then again, like I mentioned at the start of this, like the better you get at all these is going to turn into, like, let's say you're fighting somebody and you make a bad edit. Like, if you're fast enough, you're not going to get punished, because we've all experienced that, where we just full box the guy, he doesn't even look, but we made a bad peek, but we still kill them because he's not even reacting fast enough. You just kill him. So the faster you get, kind of works in that way. So and then yeah, peak practice is another thing that will help you with just understanding your angles. If you really take I guess if you can take maybe, I don't know how much time you have to spend today, but let's say 30 minutes on these tunnels, just running through. You can, do 3 or 4 runs on each of these, and then 30 minutes on peak practice, or even like, 20 and 40. Like, peak practice is going to be one of the best ways to actually have your brain process and read and understand in a quick time. The more you play, obviously, the faster you'll get. But in a quick time, like, okay, this is the angle I have, this is the perspective he's going to have, and this is the result of what's going to happen. So if you come in here, you can switch through all the target sizes. If you want to, again, start with easy, large. What I would recommend, pro is like is very hard. Like, we'll go to pro, but it's very difficult. And again, if you do extra small pro, like, this is just painful. Like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend it. So if you want to do something that's challenging still, the hard and, like, medium or small is definitely hard enough. But again, this is going to just tell you, right? Like, you're going to be able to process, okay, if I'm here, right, he can't see me. And we saw how, we could see him. Now he sees us, right? So that's process that in my brain, that, if I edit this right now, that's bad, right? So come here. Okay, what if I edit this? All right, he doesn't hit me a single time, right? That's maybe obvious because you're just pushed against the wall, but when you get, more into it, you can start to combine things. So there, I didn't reset fast enough, right? There, I jumped, reset fast enough. Everything was perfect. I was, against the wall, hit the shot, boom. I jot that in my brain, I etch it down. That's perfect. Do that again anytime in game, Right there, again, didn't reset fast enough / over peaking too much. Right there, see, I had a right hand peak and I reset fast enough. So you're just drilling in these combinations, and every time it works out, you just etch it in your brain. And then again, like this reaction time, I mean, we probably both know this, but this is like not next level. Like not even Peterbot or the world's best player is going to do this. So really, if you're trying to like get closer to real time reaction, it's probably medium or easy. But you want to challenge yourself, of course. That's like how you're going to improve, right? So
yeah.
So yeah, just doing this, changing your angles, getting a different perspective, practicing your control, like making sure you're making the right hit. So if I'm here, right, reset quick, and that's just all things to practice, right? Like the movement of the pump shot and reset is not like you don't just get that from starting the game. So, yeah, this is like just a huge drill to play. Like spending again 30-40 minutes on this a day, sitting in here, or as much time as you can bear. It's not like the most enjoyable, fun thing to do, just doing this constantly, but it's gonna drill in like what actually is good to do and what's not good to do, and it, you know, you'll get better over time by just recognizing it. So this map is great, peak practice, tunnels, and then you have kind of a combination of both, which is obviously what it says. So put it to hard, go through it, and you can practice like, you know, hitting your tunnels. Okay, here's the actual bot, piece him so he can't see me. No, I went for a shot, missed it a little bit, all good. Come to an angle, sprint up, you know, make sure I'm on the right hand peak, jump up, dead. Okay, did he hit me? No. So that's a good shot. Etched that in my brain, it worked. Right here, if I make this edit and I come and build a piece, boom. Right? Didn't hit me a single time. So what I did there, if there's a player in a real-time scenario, I can do that, and I know it'll work. Actually, I think it might be bugged. Yeah, it's bugged. Okay. So I think I was kind of tripping because I think I should have got hit on that second one. But either way, the point stands. Like, if you do it right and you don't get hit, you jot that in your brain and you'll know. So
now, how different should I play since I'm on edit on release?
How different should you play?
Yeah, so like it's like for peaks at least.
Yeah.
So like I guess like the timing's a little bit different versus someone who's on edit release off.
What is your what's your ping? Like to
It's around in Central I have like higher ping. It's like around like 60. But like I play West, so I'm around like 30.
Okay. Yeah.
20.
On release, anything above like 25 is definitely needed. Like, or not needed, but it's good. It's a positive thing. Even though there are the like you just mentioned, like how to, it's, you know, it's a little harder. The peaks are different, but that's, I mean, I could name probably 5 pros right now that are some of the best, probably the best fighters in the game are on edit on release. Like, so what you're on, and like it just the things that they're doing against a player that like me who's on edit on release off. It's like I can't create those things. I can't even do those things. They're out peaking me. They're getting better angles than me. So like there is always that, like you can get there. Yeah. It's just gonna take time. Like, and I think again this is why this will be so beneficial, because edit on release, that is the offside. Like, or that is the negative part of it is, and all pros understand this. Like the reason why every pro isn't on edit on release is because they don't want to have to go through the process of what you're gonna have to go through of like actually, you know, getting mouse, like being what's the word I'm looking for? I guess being like strict on yourself, making sure you're actually holding it down before you let it go, right? And making sure your angles are good. Yeah, it's tough. I don't use that on a release, so I can't like speak like the exact one-to-one truth because I'm just full 0 ping, so I don't need it necessarily. But if you can get good on edit release, like it is, you're gonna have way faster mechanics. It's pretty insane. But yeah, it's just practice, right? Like anything. And also, I mean, I say this a ton all the time, but if you always think about it, there's somebody that's on a worse PC, worse monitor, worse everything, you know, and on different, you know, worse binds, and on edit on release that's better than you. You know, it's better than me. So like there's always a route to improvement no matter the situation. Same thing with like, okay, I'm on 30 ping, I shouldn't be on edit on release, or I should be off of edit on release. Sorry, it's such a tongue twisting term.
Yeah,
But there's people that I know that are better than me on higher ping that play the same edit on release or edit off release. Sorry, god damn it. So like you could switch to it off for for simplicity in your editing and have the confidence knowing that like okay, this is possible to be really really good. It's gonna help you with your edit speed obviously since it's faster to edit. So one less step. Yeah. So this is gonna help you. Essentially, this is your answer to how do I make bad edits or less bad edits. You're gonna be able to play this and be like, okay, that didn't work. Let me do this. And then this is your answer to how am I always getting stuck on edits? Just reps doing this. I'll say there's one more map to play, which it's in his slew of things. So I'll show you how to get to it.
Okay. There's
a ton of useful maps on this guy's code. So if you go here, you scroll down, you'll see like, okay, these are the recent games you played, whatever. You just go here, view creator, and then you'll see all his maps. Again, there's maps in here that aren't good to play, and maybe we'll show by the player count. Like you probably shouldn't play this unless you are absolutely burnt out of every other edit course you have. Like this is a race, right? This is headshot only. Like some things are not as useful as the others. I'll call out the useful things, the things that I will always play and recommend. Number one, V4. This is like the most new and improved. I think he's going to come out with a new one soon, which will be fun to play. And the V3 is great as well. This one was out for like 2.5 years before the V4 came out. So like this is kind of where I grew up. Like it feels like I played a ton of this map.
Yeah.
So they're basically the same thing. Like if you look at this picture here, you can see build, replace, targets. There's 6 of each. So it's the same tunnel like idea here. There's just 8, right? But you can play 12 different ones, and these ones are all different than these ones. So like all of these tunnels here, you might go up, down, up, down. This one's down, 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 up. Like none of them are the same. So you have a ton of options and a ton of different build combinations to go through. I'll load into this map. Actually, before I do that, another thing you can play for just general edit practice is not these like this. Again, I just said edit practice. Trust me, this is not as helpful as it may seem. What you should be playing is edit courses. So Raiders Impossible Edit Course 6 is great, and Raiders Impossible Edit Course 4 is great. And the reason why these are better than just like, why would I not just play a straight shot, do the same thing, is because exactly that. You're just going to drone out. You're going to just lose the actual focus, and you're just going to be doing the same like edit. And it's like you can't. That's why when you do the peak training, the bot's moving around. It's not standing still. So you're actually getting like every angle is different. Every edit is different. You got to think properly through each time. So this is just too much of the same thing, right? Like if I told you just go play the same aim map every day and play the same one scenario every day, like your game's going to improve very minimally. This will help you improve, sure. Like training anything is going to help you get better. But these are just pits, like time pits for actual like bots. And these are obviously better because, I mean, I could play this today and then play it tomorrow, and I'll have a general understanding of what, how each turn comes. Like as you play these, you'll get like an idea of, okay, now I go up here, I go down here. But that's why you play, you play 6, then you play 4 a different day. And then again, you can do this because guess what? This is 3, 4, 5. This is 3 different edit courses that are all different. They go up, 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 down, down, down. This one goes down, 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 up, 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 right? So all these are different, which means over a week time span, if you were to play, one a day, you wouldn't have a thought of what's in front of you, which is going to give you, again, that fresh like feel, and it's going to give you that fresh, just like actual focus and grind. So 6 and 4, I've put a ton of time into. These are about like, I'd say I can do them in about 10, 15 minutes. So they're a longer version. I wonder if this is still a map. 20 minute edit. 50, was it 15? I think it was 15. There used to be a map back in like, oh my god, like OG 15-minute edit. No, it used to be by Raider. He had a map that was like, it genuinely took 15 minutes, and I spammed that so many times. Like that was where I feel like I improved a ton in editing. So edit courses are great. Because I don't think I need to go in here and show it, but it's literally you just edit, and you can build too. But yeah. So this map here, this is what I wanted to show. This is the V3 map. Again, it's pretty much the same thing, just a little outdated, but for some reason he didn't move everything over and like revamp it. So you kind of have to play between these maps to get this one aspect of this map, which I'll show you in a second. All right. So same thing. You got the tunnels, and we'll go through these. You can see these are all different. This one has the builder place, which is really handy. This one is not on the other map. So I think this is a great thing to play as well. Just getting in the habit of having to replace the wall, then edit through it. That's why I'm surprised he didn't move everything over, or like at least some of the concepts, which is it's fine. So this is a great thing to play. This is a great thing to play. It's just going to be different. You're going to have targets, which again, these are both good to play. New, fresh angles. You're going to have to think about it each time. It's like the edit course, right?
Yeah.
And then what I really like on this map, which I've used a ton and put a ton of time into, is the infinite edit tower, which I'm sure is on those edit maps that I told you not to play. But I just like this because this is really the only thing that you should be practicing. Like if you're thinking about doing an infinite tower, like that map I showed you, like a lot of that map is full of just nonsense. You shouldn't be doing. There shouldn't be an edit course where you're coming up here and editing straight up in a line. But this is actually somewhat handy. But intentionally, like doing it intentionally is important because again, if I'm just spamming it, right? I can close my eyes and just think I'm doing it because the audio is there, right? But what you have to do is just edit like you would in game. So you don't do. No one ever does whatever this is 30 edits in a row. You always do like a double edit, right? So 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? And then you switch directions so you can actually see yourself dropping 1 2. And again, also for practice, right? You want to change your angles. You don't want to be doing like you can't just do this. This isn't going to help you improve. Like just same edit down. So switching angles 1 2 1 2 1 2, maybe down, pulling back, pulling up, going up here. Okay, now going down. All right, so this is helping you with your edit timing. So you're going to be able to actually know when to let go. Again, edit on release is a lot easier. So maybe this is just an edit on release or edit off release thing that I do. But this is a great thing to do, and only on this map. Another thing that's great about this map, and compared to his last map, they both have free build, but this one is a lot better with its infinite builder place, which is going to allow you to, like it says, infinitely fight this guy and come through here. It's going to teleport you, reset it, and so you can practice your. It's kind of like the tunnels, editing through a wall instantly, and just getting your control, getting your speed down. And this is also a great thing to practice, just setting up a fight, right? Resetting the wall, getting a different angle, pump the bot, do it again, right? Set up the fight again. If you're seeing this, maybe you're processing it already, but it's the same. It's a combination. This whole setup is a combination. Setting up a fight is a build combination that has to be practiced. Building a box is a build combination that has to be practiced. Like there's a guy I was coaching earlier for the EU Cash Cup, and he was like, he struggled a lot with just keeping his mats consistent. Like he would, it was frustrating me because he would go box up and he would like build like, I don't even know, like it looked like this when you try to box up, and he'd make like 5 boxes. And I told him, and he's like I don't know if he's like a pro, but he's definitely good enough. He's fighting and can jump in and has good aim and decent game sense. So he has a good competitive understanding, but he was like, definitely I could sense he was getting frustrated by me telling him that he should practice boxing up, because it's like, you think like it's the most simple thing. Like I know, like I boxed up when I started playing the game. That's why do I need to do that now? But like, that's exactly why. It's a combination. So every time, right? You just got to get it down perfectly every time. It's a combination. You're seeing here, none of this looks different. Like you're seeing what I just did there is the exact same. It's not this, then it's not, you know, this, right? It's the same combination. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? You just keep going. If you change directions, doesn't matter. Right? If I go up, doesn't matter. It's the same loop around. So it's just again a combination that you need to be able to practice and master. And same thing with setting up the fight, right? If I come here, I can't place, you know, I don't place this wall, this wall, this wall, and then the cone down. I always do it in the same combination every single time. So, yeah, and then of course, like this, it's not going to necessarily help you for setting up a fight, but this in a way could turn into like, you might end up doing something in here that will relate to a fight. Like there might be a chance where you're above a guy, you know, and you want to edit down and, you know, twirl around, come here, and that's your fight. Like, so again, you're practicing combinations. These are a little bit deeper because they're like, you know, they take maybe 30 seconds to go through a tunnel or 20 seconds. But feel free to come in this map and just set up however you want for a fight. Come to the top, right? Cone combination, like, oh my god. And maybe what you saw there was what your issue is you're getting stuck on the wall like this, right?
Yeah.
So that is just me being too close to the wall. Like it's just a lot harder. Like this, no one edits like this. Like again, and it just like I told you at the start of this with the peak training, if you were to make an edit like this and there was a player here, like again, I'm going against a bot and I was just trying to get through it because it's a practice map and there's no punishment. But like this is a bad edit, right? If this is an actual real player in here, like this would get me pumped. So I shouldn't even be here to begin with, right? So if I really wanted to hit the edit, I would have backed up or I would have been here. And again, that just makes it, I'll never mess this up, right? Like, so if you're ever messing it up in edit, it's probably because you're setting yourself for a bad peak anyway. So you honestly might be saving yourself by messing up the edit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So especially when you're tarping, like you'll see a lot of people, they'll get stuck on their walls because you are moving so fast and you have to change your angles so quickly that like it is a fair statement to say that I mess up an edit when I'm tarping because you have to, you know, push yourself through these walls. And it is something to practice, you know, tarping and push yourself against the walls. And the way you do that, if you want to like practice that edit I messed up there, is just come here and up your speed. Like I'll just do 1.5. That's really, really high. But now you're seeing like it's pushing me against the wall because I'm so much faster. Does that make sense? So like it's not where I want to be. It's not, you know, I don't move this fast in game ever. But practicing this will definitely help you. Like upping your speed is going to help you when you're slamming against the wall just like that, right? But again, in a real game, you're not doing that. And if you're trying to be perfect with your triple edits, you're going to make sure your spacing is better, which again goes back to the peak. Like you would never make an edit. You would never actually force this edit because this is going to give you a horrible peak. You would rather much do it down here, you know, or even here where you can reset this, right? This gives you, when you're pushing against the wall, it gives you almost no control. It's really hard to react and reset that wall. So I think honestly, it's less that you're messing up your edits. I think we could all use you know, work with build combinations and edit combinations. Like there's never enough time or there's never too much time to spend in this map, like doing these tunnels. But really, it's about like your peaks. If you understand your peaks well, then you wouldn't want to make that edit anyways, because you know it's going to set you up poorly. And yeah, again, this map has the same thing. This is when peak training started getting popping. This is probably, maybe you have even seen the timeline of improvement, like 2.5, 3 years ago. It's probably about 3 years ago now this map came out. That like people started actually getting good peaks. Like it was around that time. And so this is because everyone was playing this map where like you peek this bot and he hits you. So it's not as good as that last map where you actually can change the numbers, the difficulty, and all those things. But this is the lab right here. I can't tell you how many times I've done this map and sat in here and thought about my peaks and boom, right? Did that, notched into my brain, right? Bad peak. He hit me. Like if I'm gonna piece this, I should piece from here, right? He can't hit me there. So
Okay, I see.
Yeah, this
I
map
also
is
see you're also
phenomenal.
like going from like new angles. Like you pump them, then you go to like a new angle because like you know you have piece control of that area.
Yeah, 100%. I mean that's what you have to do in a fight. You got to be kind of sporadic, right?
Yeah.
Even there, like I know I'm going against an AI, but if you saw that how I come down here and I edit that and put the wall, it's what the fuck? It's to it's a pump. Like if this is a real player, he's gonna see me double edit, and he's gonna pump the wall. So like double edit, you can either double edit reset or you can double edit put a wall, and he's gonna think you're gonna just not put this wall. He's gonna try to pump it. Then he pumps the wall, pump delay, box him, whatever you want to do, take him out, gone. So. Yeah, and again, there's things that are not so useful to play, like edit while moving. You'll see this is like, oh, this is helping my editing. It's really just not. Like you could spend 40 hours in this. Again, you'll find improvement. Like this, you're doing something related to what you want to improve on. So you'll get improvement from this, but it'll be maybe 5% for 40 hours versus 30% improvement for 40 hours or whatever, right? So if you want, you can do the 1 versus 5 bot. It's not going to help you. It's more just like, you want to just change your vibe, change your focus. You can definitely do this to practice like not taking damage on your peaks. Again, I've played a ton of this map doing this. And I would always play it like if I got hit, I would just restart. Like you can put your health to what is it, lower health, or no, you can't. If I ever got hit, I would restart because the goal is to not get hit at all, right? Even through spraying. But yeah, I mean, you can see this. This is just clearly not worth the play. This is a big waste of time. I don't think you'd get any better doing this at all. So I don't know why it's on the map, but it's a filler for those players that don't know what they're doing. So that's that. And then The next thing you talked about fights. Do you have any questions about what we talked about, or you want me to go deeper into any of this?
No, I got it. I got everything you put down.
Okay, cool.
Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, practice doing the right things.
Yeah.
Yeah, fights is all kind of a turn of this. Like if you're able to do these and do these well and run through these well, it's all going to be turning out in fights. Like your peaks, you're going to be more conscious of what you're doing. I will say that when it comes to like, this wasn't your exact question, but I'm sure this is something you're curious about. Like how, I'm really good in creative, or I'm pretty good in creative, but I'm not good in game, or like just doesn't transfer. And the big reason of that is because you're doing like you're only able to do it in creative, because there's no pressure. So like for example, well, the best way I can explain it is like you're able to do, oh my god, you're able to do a triple edit in creative every single time, but you're not confident enough to do it in game, right? If you're not, I guess the best way to realize what you are, or what you're struggling on, is to realize what you do in game and realize what you do in creative and see what the difference is. Like, okay, in creative, I personally will probably do this a lot more. Like, I'll probably do that a ton just because I'm having a good time. I'm trying to get better, and you should be doing the hard things. You should be doing the most crazy mechanical turns. But in game, of course, there's like more thought that needs to go into it, and that's just will happen. Everybody is going to put more thought because there's actually a life that you have in the game where you don't want to die. There's loot you got. There's time spent. So, and if you want to be able to do these things, it's because, or what am I saying? If you're not able to do what you're doing in creative, it's because you're not exceptionally well at it. Like in game, if we both get shot, we are confident in our speed to quickly box. Like 100%, that's confidence because we've got that so etched in our brain. We can do that. Like that is just a default thing for us. If someone shoots at us from in front, we build a wall because we're so confident that we trust that we will build the wall. We know the bind, we know how to hit it, we know the moves to hit it, and all of that. But same thing here. You might be confident doing double edits in game. You might be doing them a ton. This is a very common thing that we all started building up years ago. So, but you're not confident doing a quad edit into a 90 into a retake because you just don't have it as etched in as you have the box. Does that make sense? Like as you have just building the wall. So all you need to do is, again, take a look, realize what you are, what you don't do in game versus what you do in creative, and work on the aspects that you don't do in game. So if you do only double edits in game because you're really confident, you can pull it off, the reaction if someone jumps in your box, you can reset. But in creative, you may do triple edits. Then that means you need to go sit down and practice triple edits. Even though, just like the guy I was talking about earlier, he knows how to do triple edits, but if he doesn't do them in game, like that doesn't mean anything. Like I know how to do a triple edit, but maybe I don't pull it out in game every single time because I'm not surefire confident to do it. Like I just, there we go. I messed it up there. So that just shows even me, I need to practice my triple edits. Does that make sense? Maybe I feel like that might have been confusing.
No, it made sense.
So just analyze what you don't do in game, that you do in creative. It's not that you don't understand the skill. It's just that you're not 100% positive that you can do it. And that's the big difference between like, do you know Peterbot? If I'm referencing him.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the big difference between like Peterbot and any other pro. Like there's a ton of good pros. A ton. But Peterbot is so good at doing, like he has fully mastered the double edit down, the zigzag, like he's got this to a T, like so good in creative, like absolutely perfect, zero chance to mess up. Just like we have the box. Like I'm so confident I can do that in creative and in game. He's got that down to a T, and he worked on that like endlessly, right? He wanted to get this down. Like I'm sure he didn't practice an exact combination of it, but it's over time of doing this. The more you do this, the more like infinite combinations that you come up with and that you're confident in doing. And then again, once you're really sure you can do it in game.
I see. Okay. So it's like a confidence thing too, and like a practice thing.
Yeah. A confidence is probably the right word. Yeah, it's just like you're just confident. You're confident that you'll execute it, so you'll do it without even thinking about it. Just like you're confident you know how to build a box. Like I will say I'm not confident in game doing, something like this where I'm going up and flipping it like. And doing it. I mean, you're literally seeing me mess it up in creative, so there's a 100% chance that I won't do that in game. Does that make sense? Like, there's no shot I'm doing what I just did, especially since I messed it up. So if I practice that exact mechanic, like literally every day, I just came in here and I did this. Hold on. Every day I came in here and I went like this. Oh, there we go again. And I came up here and I flipped it. If I did that every time, every single day for 30 reps a day, then I will drill that into my brain that I can do that in game, and I will be able to do it in game because I've shown it. Like I can do it, right? So I'm confident I can come here and edit my cone instantly, right? So if ever someone grabs my wall, I got that locked in. All right, boom, right away. But there's definitely a time years ago where I wasn't confident in being able to quickly respond, flip my stair, flip my cone. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to try to do it in game. Like there's definitely, we all try to do triple edits. We all try to like quickly edit our cone, but like, you know, doing it to a T and being good at it will help you actually do it properly and take advantage of the situation you're in. And yeah, that kind of goes with fights, like going through these and making sure you're etching out what you aren't confident in game and making sure you're perfecting it in creative so that way you can actually do it in game. And yeah, I think past that, I think what would be really helpful would be me watching you fight. Like if you're on, are you on the game?
Yeah, I'm on the game.
Okay, cool. I think what we could do is have you screen share, hop into a speed realistic. So just look up speed realistics, hop in like, I think the finest map is the least.
The 1v1?
Yeah, the 1v1. Finest map is like the least bugged.
Okay.
I can give you the code or you can just look up like speed finest or something like that. Or you might have it right. Is that Kin Beans? I don't know.
It's
Oh,
finest.
perfect. So yeah, go click out of this. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yep. Just view creator. There you go. And then just find the 1v1 top left. Perfect. So what I'll do here is I'm gonna just let you fight. Like I feel like I haven't necessarily let you practice or giving you the time, but I'm gonna let you fight. Just kind of gonna sit here and watch, and I'm gonna take notes. And then we're gonna do 5 or 6 rounds, depending on if the player is actually good. We're gonna just re-queue if the guy is a full bot. Like we want to be challenged here, so it's okay to lose, but go into these fights like you're gonna try and win every fight and make every peak and take. Your goal is to take 0 damage and win the fight, right? That's a huge win in anybody's book and against any player. So try your best to do that, and I'm gonna inevitably find small little errors in between the fight, and I'm gonna write it down, and then I'm gonna share my screen, or I already have it shared. You're gonna watch my screen. I'm gonna explain it. We're gonna repeat the process.
Okay. This guy probably looks like a bot, but we'll give him a chance.
Can't judge a book by its cover. Never know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yep. You see how it just if you were able to play peak training, again, I know you haven't gotten any practice like that. You wouldn't have done that against that bot, like the red ball running around the map, like
yeah. Oh, I don't know why I opened up my inventory.
All good. See that cone built out your box? Which means you got to practice your boxes. All right, your build combination is wrong if you're building a floor and cone out. I don't want to comment on things too early, but that's obviously peak, right? We just talked about it. Like you getting hit there.
Yeah, that was a bad edit.
Yep. Extremely fixable.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a bad box. Now that I realize.
The bot would hit you faster.
Yep.
That's why you put that wall there too, like I taught you. You just stick that wall down, he pumps the wall, and then boom.
I'm expecting this coming.
All right, here. Look at my screen here. I want to make sure we go over this before, because I want this to be like fresh in your mind. So try to recall like the situations you were just in. Let me load into the map real quick.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay, so first thing that I want to talk about,
Yeah.
is crosshair placement. Let me fix my. There we go. First thing I want to talk about is crosshair placement. So if you don't understand that fully, basically it kind of controls a ton of. It kind of controls everything. Like it's kind of a part of every situation, and it's also one of the most difficult things to practice because there's so much going on in almost any scenario. You have to be extremely mindful of it, which I think to really get to that point, you can do it through, and you should try to do it through your current route to improvement. But once you get a good core, like a core base down, which you definitely have a base of understanding, so maybe this will be easier than I'm expecting it to be. Like it's going to be hard if you're learning how to improve all these mechanics, and you're learning all these peaks, like processing cross replacement and all that is going to be very difficult. That's what I'm trying to say. But essentially, like to explain it in a simple way, is it's just the smoothness of your crosshair is the easiest way to have good crosshair placement. So situation that I'm seeing that in you very like easily is just like your boxes. So I'm going to try to reenact what your boxes are, right? You'll see my boxes are like, there's a flick to it. There's some movement, right? But there's also like a consistency where it's like, it's the same like general movement. Your boxes are, right? Like maybe that's an exaggeration, but I think you can understand, right? Your boxes look something like that. They're kind of all over the place, right? So if you think about your crosshair placement in that, right? Like I can do kind of a box like you're doing, where I come up and flick down and it does the same thing. We build the same box, but there's a lot of movement around. So when you're doing all that, like imagine you're trying to box somebody and you go here and you're like this, right? You're doing all this to move it around, right? And then now you have to do all that and readjust your shot once you get it boxed and make sure you have a good peak and then hit your shot, right? It's a lot. So when you see like pros box people, they're going to go, you know, really quick, simple, boom, quick little movement, shot, right? Come up here, box, shot, right? It's not come up here, box, shot. Like, again, that's an exaggeration, but you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So crosshair placement is something, again, it's a bit of a pain to master and practice, but it's definitely something you should look into. Like, there's a ton of scenarios. Almost every scenario you're doing has poor crosshair placement. So like even your side jumps, you're going like, you know, you're doing this and you're looking all the way down to place it and then all the way back up, and then imagine like doing that and he's in your box and now you have to readjust and hit the shot. It's a lot. So try to just focus on, again, the smoothness of it is of your crosshair, really being nice and controlled. Like you can have still the same speed, but you're focusing on hitting those edits, and your placement of your crosshair is really important. So keeping it almost level, if that makes sense. So when you're going up here, like again, you're not seeing me go up and double it up like this. I'm keeping it really, right, nice and level. And then again, if we're talking deeper into crosshair placement, it gets deeper, as in like if I'm doing a tunnel here where I edit this and then come out here and build this box and tunnel this way and tarp it, right? My crosshair placement that needs to be right is, first I need to have it here, but then I need to have my crosshair almost lining up to the next piece. So the next piece for this is going to be these two walls, right? So I need to come here, right? Boom. My crosshair placement was level to that. The next edit from that point is right here, which I kind of defaultly had it set up. Had the walls, boom, right? It's already on that. Versus like, you know, you do these walls and now you're here and then you have to hit this edit, which means you have to adjust there. And then the next piece, again, will be same thing. Walls, right? And then again, it's already lined up in the right spot. So that'll go a long way of just when you're doing an edit, thinking about your next edit. So if I'm going to edit this wall, right, and then do a peanut butter, like do this on the other one. So I'm going to come through here, boom, right? My crosshair placement was good there, which means I'm able to hit the edit easier, which makes the whole process easier. So again, that's just, and that is simply kind of just smoothness, right? Like I'm just really nice and thorough, smooth with what I'm doing. So think about how you're building and how, I guess, like when you do build again, just look how sporadic it looks. Like you're kind of like, you're not as exaggerated as I'm making it seem, but I'm trying to show the point. So that's the first thing I took. Just focusing on your cross placement will be a big help because you'll be able to actually like have more control in your builds and it won't feel so like tossed. The next thing that I saw that you don't have in your like build combination playbook, I guess is the right word, is the Thwi foot cone. So this is just, maybe you've seen this before, but again, if you're not doing it in that scenario, you just don't have, like, you may do it in creative by yourself, but you don't have it down. And like, I can do this in game, I can do this against you, I can do this in a tournament, I can do this in a grand finals, I can do this whenever I want, because it's just something that I have built into me, right? So this is the Thwi foot cone. It's just this exact maneuver, and all it is the same. It's a build combination. So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. And again, the crosshair placement goes with that. So my crosshair placement is at the top, so that means I can hit these walls easier, right? And then my cone is up top, and I guess I'll talk about that. The cone, it's the easiest thing to think about is the number here, 150, the wall HP number. If you look above it, your cone's gonna place above it. If you look below it, your cone's gonna place below it. If you look on it and you're standing, you know, within the range of where your cone's gonna push you, right? If I'm looking on it and I'm within the range of where the cone's gonna push me up, it'll place both, right? So if I'm standing off of the range, which would be like the edge, and I look on the number, it's gonna place below. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Again, this is like what I talked about earlier, is just really knowing the basics. Like I know exactly how that cone works. And like I can, if you were to tell me right now, I want you to place the cone just below. Oh, I fucked it up, but just below, right? I can just look really easily below. That doesn't mean I have to look like, I could also do this and look down and below, but that's bad crosshair placement because now I'm looking down and I have to look back up, right? So understanding that will help you with your boxes, will help you with a ton of things. But back to the Thwi foot cone, which is the next point that I wanted you to understand, was there's a lot of times where you're below the guy, right? He was above you, you're like doing this, and you would do things like this, where you come up like that, right? Or you'd come up like this, and then, you know, then you'd come up and he would like come off and you go up, right? Like that looks somewhat familiar, all right?
Yeah.
Well, simply just supplementing that out with the Thwi foot cone is just an infinite better source. So you can do the same thing where I'm literally climbing up layers and protecting myself, and then you just go up, right? You edit your cone, go up. And then there's deeper ways to do it. Of course, you can slap so much into it. You can Thwifo cone into a side jump, into whatever else you want to do. And again, the Thwifo cone is just such a powerful move. But in the basics of it, if you were able to just do the Thwifo cone in that scenario, you would have been able to have an eye on the player, which means you can do this edit, you can do this edit, you can edit out and cone over him. I mean, you could have done it 3 or 4 times in a row, right? And then by that point, he's chasing behind you because you're just ramping up endlessly. Right now he's just ramping you. He's just trying to catch up to you, or he's grappling to you, or whatever. Right? Then you turn around, right? Once you've gotten that distance on him. So the Thwifo cone is super powerful. Like that's a great thing to use when the guy is like just sitting above you and you don't know what to do, and you're trying to side jump, but he shoots you on the side jump, or you're trying to like ramp up, but he's like spraying you, like you're doing all this back and forth, and you're trying to slowly climb up. Thwifo cone, just simply Thwifo cone. It's simple, it's easy. All you have to do is just practice it, get it down, and you'll be solid. The next thing I saw, and I think it's just maybe just take some work with edit on release, is just understanding that you can use your edits to bait, right? So like there's a time, and you should never ever, which actually let me talk about this first, because this kind of goes, let me write this down. So okay. You should never, ever, and again, I'm pulling this out because I saw it in your fight that we just did, is never just drop down here and smack. And you didn't do it exactly like that, but it was more like you went for like a double edit and you went like that. Like something similar to that. Never, ever do that. Always pressure the wall from above or spray pressure. And then again, the build combination to set up the fight. Like always do something to pressure the wall. So here, even if I'm trying to slide on this, like I can slide back and spray, or at least coming here before you go down. Always pressure before you go down. Always. Never, ever just drop on the wall. There's maybe a 1% time where you'd want to, do it when he's looking away or whatever, right? There's always a scenario. It's Fortnite at the end of the day. You could do something that's bad and it'll still work out, and there's always a time for something. But always try to get in the habit of just pressuring the wall before you drop down, especially if your layer's up and you can have the time to go for one of these where you're jumping on the wall. And if I timed it right, I would have grabbed it while I was falling. So always drop down before, and then use your edits to bait. That's kind of in the same thing, because you're gonna smack this guy's wall, right? Come through here, and then you can edit that, thinking that he's gonna think that you're gonna come here, do all that pressuring you just did, come through the wall and smack, right? But again, like the rule I just said, don't ever just edit through the wall and smack. You're gonna use the edit, hold it for a second and then bait. He's gonna edit, which is gonna allow him to, he's either gonna pump the wall, try to pump you, or he's gonna edit this wall, which. If it's a metal wall, brick wall, or even a wood wall that you just tapped, any wall that you sprayed before, if he edits it, it's 1 HP. Does that make sense? So if I come through here and I build these walls and I get them, 1 HP, and I edit this, reset it, it's always 1 HP. Like it's only going to build up to what the wall was before, right? So if you even shoot this wall 1 or 2 times and he edits that, it's going to be 1 HP. But if you never pressure my wall, right, and I edit this wall and I reset it, it's still like healthy enough to be pumped. Does that make sense? So that's why you always want to pressure with the wall. Come down here, bait the pickaxe out, bait him to edit his wall. Once he edits it, then it's a free shot. Then you just one tap the wall, grab it, or you spray through, or you can do it so much with it. So always try to pressure before you drop down, and then use your edits to bait. So you can like I said, you can come here and edit that, and then edit the wall, bait it, reset it, make sure make him edit it, whatever he wants to do, pump the wall, and then you can go from there. The next thing that goes into the Thwifo cone that you were doing, it was that last fight where he was literally just like above you, and you were just like, you were just sitting here waiting for him to drop, make space. It's just look for pop shots. Like whenever you're healing, whenever you're having that guy do that, if you don't want a Thwifo cone, whatever the situation is, mats, anything can happen, right? Look for pop shots at the very least. So always go for like something like that. And again, this is a skill to practice. So you're not just going to be able to pop shot perfectly every time overnight. Like it's something where you need to be able to connect and not get hit, because the pop shot is going to get you exposed, but if you're able to block yourself and catch yourself fast enough, right, that's a skill to practice. So pop shotting is super good, because you're able to catch them, and especially if a player is playing really aggressive. Like let's just say he fries you, and you're coming here and you're making space, and he's pushing you, he's spraying your top right now, and he's jumping down, boom, done. Or he grapples onto you, boom, right? That slows the fight down, hits him for 100, 60, 30, 15, and then okay, I hit him for 15. I have a gold spaz, that's a 1 pump. I can hit that shot. As long as I hit my shot there, if I don't do any more damage, I hit a 1 pump. I did enough to give myself at least some type of hope in the fight. So pop shots are huge, and you're able, again, especially against that guy, he gave you a ton of opportunity where he was just above you, and he was like this, right? All you have to do is pop him right there. You just come out. He's focused on spraying. You just here, boom, done. 10 damage. Then you go up. He's stunned, right? Thwifo cone, go up, right? Cone over the tops, edit through, done. Now you have height. Take the shot again. That's it. Easy. Easier than it sounds, I guess. But yeah. So pop shots is huge. The next thing that I saw you do that I don't think you have in your build like playbook is high walls. So high walls are very simple. Again, it's something to practice. You can't just think about it and do it. It's a build combination, right? You're seeing the order is the same. It's not this stretch the walls. It's not come here and stretch the wall up. Like it's about where you're standing, how you're moving, your momentum. It's something to practice, right? And if you're not doing it consistently in game, it's because you just can't do it consistently by yourself, right? This is a situation again. Same thing. I can do this every single time in game. If I need to do it in game, and my teammate says, "I want you to go up and win this final game, and high wall this guy right now." Well, send me, But if he says, "I want you to go up there, quad edit up, side jump, go for a pop shot and high wall," I'll be like, "You do it." so it's like it's just confidence, right? Knowing that you can do it and you'll be able to execute it. So high wall is super super good. Again, it's just that you're just going up, and you can slap so many things with it. You can high wall. You can high wall into a window edit with a cone with another window. Like you're seeing, I'm just spamming high walls, right? And then you can also Thwifo cone and high wall, right? So it's kind of the same thing there. And you're slapping your piece through. High walls are super beneficial. And then also in general, high walls are like your number one way to hold control in a fight. So there's a lot of people, I didn't see it in you, but a lot of people that will just, their heads are just down. Like they're looking at a fight, right? Let's say this guy's here, right? In this box, and he's trying to come up, whatever. And I'm just looking at him and my head's down and he's coming up, right? If I can just get in the habit of high walling, I'll always control the fight. Like if he's coming here, I'll just high wall up. He can't ramp me. He can't cone me. There's nothing he can do to stop me if I'm constantly high walling. Like if you're trying to really cheese a fight and play slow, you can be on his head right here. If he's ramping out, let's say he's like here, right? He's ramping out and you're really close to him. Like this is a dangerous level because he could Thwifo cone or he could mantle up or whatever. Like if he sees it, you see him coming up, high wall, like there's nothing he can do. It's over. So high wall is super good. And then a minor detail, which I saw, I think only one time, is just have cone in your box constantly. Like build the habit, like always cone in your box, especially, which I did see you did it correct one time or multiple times, but there was a moment where you didn't have cones in your box. Just be careful. Make sure you're always having a cone in your box, especially if you're going to make the edit, because if you don't, and you make the edit, a smart player can either do this, or a lot of people do this peanut butter edit, right? This is a very common peak. Again, no cone in your box. I'll do this all the time in ranked. I'll just do this, knowing he's gonna make the peanut butter edit, flip my stair, he'll do it, right? Then the wall's 1 HP, because I always damage the wall beforehand, right? So if he edits the wall here, it's 1, grab it once, or pump it, or whatever. And then I can, I don't have to kill him here, but I'll hit him for 30 or none. He'll run out here, or he'll drop, right? Boom. And you can see how I feel like everything I just showed there is something you've seen people do, or you've tried to do, or you've done before. It's like all that started with damage on the wall. You're like, even if you didn't kill him, you're able to get that piece below which killed him, and this would kill him, or maybe you come off top, depending on where he's running. So cone and box is really important, and then properly chopping out. That's the last thing that I wrote, because that was the last thing before that fight ended. Is like, this is cool and all, but again, this is calling for a lot of crosser movement, right? So if you're trying to do this and he jumps, imagine right now you're in the middle of this and he jumps on this brick cone and you're doing all this, right? And you're moving your cross. And then I gotta flick to him. I gotta, like, instead, right? You could, if you really wanted to chop him out, you could just go for one of these, right? It's the same, it'll do the same thing, but at least you're keeping it somewhat level, right? He drops on that brick cone. Boom, done. Of course it's connected here, but oh my God. Let me just, for the example, there you go. All right, does the same thing, and the reset's easier. Like there, you're just screwing yourself. If he drops down, it's over for you. Like it's almost impossible to reset that many half walls. Like these are such scuffed edits. Like trying to hit these while you're hitting your cone. So you can do that, or you could just could have done this, which would again have given you at least something to work off of, like some angle if he jumps in this brick cone. And then also with chop outs in general, they're really good if you can use them to, like, all the things I'm teaching you, the Thwifo cone, the pop shots, like you're gonna bait this guy down. He's gonna get antsy above you. Like if you're actually doing damage back, he's gonna get antsy and he's gonna drop, knowing that you're like I guess a functional player. Like you're actually doing active things. But like what you're doing there, like yeah, you're looking for him and you're doing active things by building. But I'm talking about like you're actively looking for shots, you're actively looking for damage. Like he's gonna sense that activeness. And so with that, you can use that to your advantage and just bait the chop out. So you do this, he's thinking you're chopping him out, you're spraying this, whatever. You reset the wall, box him here, boom, right? Or reset, box, whatever you want to do, whatever situation comes up. But feel free to use chop outs as a way to bait. Like you could be here, right? This guy's above you, you know, you're spraying him out. He's not going to let you just do this forever. Like you might get, if you get the chop out, then that's perfect. But if you don't, which again, he's probably not going to let you chop him out. He's going to jump on your head, which means then he jumps on your head. You know, you go for this, pop shot, boom. Right, that's combining almost everything we just talked about right there. Right? So, yeah. That's everything I wrote down. I'll send it to you on Discord. So you have, just for reference, but crosshair placement, Dwifo cone, dropping damage before, using edits to bait, pop shots, high wall, cone and box, how to properly chop out. These are just my rough notes so I could do what I just did. So, any questions about that?
No, I mean, everything's pretty much answered.
Perfect. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think what I definitely lack is I definitely give myself more credit than is due just because I feel like I'm fast, and I don't practice as much as I should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have whatever that situation the guy had earlier on EU. Hey man, you should box more. Like we all have that in some way. Like, you know, I don't need to box more. Like, no, you do. We need to all practice and do these things more. Like, if we want to, like, until we're peer bot, we're not done. Like, so, I mean, you're seeing it in my own gameplay, and maybe I feel a little hypocritical. I definitely do feel hypocritical telling you to do these things when I am also trying to tell myself that I need to do these things. But like, obviously, on a deeper level, I feel like I have a bit of a bit of a bigger base than you. Yeah. So. Yeah, man, I mean, that's simple shit, like practicing your boxes, practicing your high walls, practicing, like, it seems so simple. Practicing your 90s, your crosshair placement. All those things work into each other. And they all combine and they all stack up, so. Yeah, that's it. And then just keep going. If you, and I think you can do the same thing that I'm doing with you. I think, like, you may have maybe a less broad perspective and you may not see every little thing. But definitely feel free to keep your replays on or record your fights, watch them back. Like you'll be able to do what I just did to you with the notes I sent you. Like the information you have now plus whatever you have before, add that together, record your fights, do 5 fights, just 5, 10 fights against that player. That's enough. You don't need 30. Just watch them back. Okay, here I had a bad peak. So boom, write that down to practice that for 10 minutes. All right, here I had like my crosshair was everywhere. So what was I doing that made my crosshair everywhere? Maybe it's because you're gonna eventually get to the point where your cross placement's perfect, but your crosshair placement when you're doing a double edit might be bad. So look at that exact thing that you did wrong with your cross placement, fix it. So I'm gonna do 50 double edits till I get my cross placement nice and slow, nice and relaxed, nice and set up for the next edit. So I have perfect cross placement for that. All right, what was the next thing I messed up on? So I looked at this. Oh, I didn't do the Dwifo cone properly, or I messed it up. Well, I'm gonna go practice that. So you can analyze your own fights just like that. Just recording, watching it back, studying them, and yeah.
Okay. Dope, man.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to be able to help you. I do apologize for the situation. Interesting. I don't get notifications, but I'm glad we were able to get it done.
Oh, there's no problem, man. Yeah, I enjoyed our session. I definitely feel like I have been helped like a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to improve on these things.
Hell yeah.
All right, man.
Well, I will talk to you later.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, that is a wrap. If you guys learned something from this video, I'm curious. Drop it down in the comments. I want to know. I want to know if there's something new that you guys got, or maybe you guys knew everything. Maybe you guys did. If you did, you might be Peterbot. So, but I appreciate you guys for watching, hanging out, and learning with me, learning with him, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget, I host a Tuesday Thesis every single Tuesday at 2 p.m. CST. So get your gameplay watched, get your questions answered, and I'll see you there.